bridge the gap for me. We're talking about UnitedHealth, but right here we're showing a Boeing chart. What does Boeing have to do with a healthcare company?
Nothing. However,
nothing.
We want some signs of how UNH can actually rally, right? And so we need to see a process. So Boeing is a good example of a stock that obviously was moving lower for most of the year,
right.
And finally we see some indications of accumulations. From a pattern perspective, of course, we need to see the stock stop going down, and sometimes add support or create support. Next stop is to see an upside follow through, and of course then we can see a higher low from here, and if we go and connect all that together, this is a bullish pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. You have a breakout here.
So obviously this is technical analysis. So we saw Boeing go down for fundamental reasons, but you're using this to demonstrate a technical pattern that's going to relate to UNH. So I just want to kind of get a sense. So we're looking for the bottom and then some new higher lows. How many higher lows do we need to see to have a clear uptrend from a technical basis?
Just need one sometimes, because that is the beginning stages of a bullish pattern. We need bullish patterns to form for eventually uptrends to happen after a big downtrend has taken place over the last year or so.
All right, so we see the thesis from Cap Thesis. Let's go over to UnitedHealth right here. Again, UnitedHealth selling on some news. Obviously, everybody knows the news about the murder of its CEO. So give us a sense. Here's the down pattern right here. We're seeing a sharp decline. What do you need to see a buying opportunity to go back into this stock?
Very similar to Boeing. So now I think investors sometimes get enticed to try to call the low. Problem is lows can get lower, right? So at the first time we have to see where support's going to come into, and then potentially again higher low, and then take it from there. So we don't want maybe wait until it comes up to this point, but at the same time, it's better to get the best spot to buy as opposed to the lowest. And the best sometimes, from my perspective at least, is see a bullish pattern start to form. And this I don't think will happen right away. This maybe have to wait until the beginning stages of 2025. And we don't have to press the issue. I think we have to be patient with a situation like this, especially when there's so much news involved.
So I do want to ask. So right here, again, this is an event where the stock sold off on news, and we see the low here. Does this low over here, does this have any relevance on where you're seeing the pattern or where you're seeing the opportunity to buy again?
Could be. Like you said before, support can be established at any point. That is a good spot to look at. But again, what could possibly happen is we have a dead cat bounce and come back down here. So that's why it's good to be patient, especially in a name in the news like this.
All right. So again, you're looking for at least one higher low, and then you see that as a potential signal of a buying opportunity.
Exactly.
All right. We're going to move on to the material sector. Why don't you clear that for us, Frank? If somebody didn't do the banner material weakness, then I'm disappointed, because we're talking about some material weakness. We haven't seen quite the performance of this cyclical sector a lot of investors expect it. What are you seeing on the charts?
Well, XLB number one, extremely oversold. And it's just down 12 straight days, which is the second longest losing streak in its history, behind 14 in 2000. But for me to get encouraged about XLB, it would need to retake this 95 area here, because you can, same type of thing. This was one big pattern that it broke out from earlier this year, but failed. Right? And so, yes, we do expect a snapback rally on a short-term basis, but I wouldn't get too encouraged until it can reclaim this area. Because if you think about it, if there's going to be a rotation trade, we saw how well it worked in the industrials this past year, had to break out to new highs over a multi-year basis. Didn't quite get it with materials yet. So we could get a little snapback here. I still want to be too encouraged until we can get back and get above new highs. And we've seen how long-term breakouts have been rewarded. So that's what we'll look for XLB as well.
So this may be a little hard for the people at home to see, but you actually started the chart back here, basically during the pandemic, down here, this low, and then we're seeing this uptrend over here, and then, like you mentioned, you're seeing, a lower low right here, and then kind of an upswing here. Does the action that we saw back here during the pandemic, is that material to the technical analysis that you're doing over here back in 2020 and up in 2024?
I think it's an important point, because a lot of times it's difficult for traders to think about buying at the highs, but at any point down here, there was a new high, and so we've seen again, whether it's industrials, whether it's financials, buying near the highs after a big multi-year bullish pattern has seen a breakout, has been rewarded.
So, but you're also saying there was an opportunity to buy at these highs as well. You just have to know the technical signals to look for.
And it's also about your time frame.